A record 7th Lombardi trophy, 3 of which came courtesy and a part of our next guest who made sure Tom Brady's jersey was kept clean, pristine, upright, if you will. Let's welcome in Patriots legend Matt Light.
Hey.
What's going on, Matt?
Good morning, people.
Good morning, people.
Yeah.
That's the kind of zest we need. Matt, awesome to see you. Not many people outside of Foxborough had this team in the Super Bowl. I'm not sure many people in Foxborough had it, at least fans down the street. You know what I mean? You always believe in your team, though. What has impressed you most about the 2025 Patriots?
You know, I mean, a lot of things have impressed me, but I think one of the things that I take the most from this season is the fact that in a very short period of time, Mike Vrabel was able to not only get his coaching staff and, get with the media people and all the business side of the game, but also connect with each and every one of those players and figure out a way to get them to buy into a culture and a mindset that includes toughness. And really it comes down to 3 things that we used to talk about back when I was playing with Vrabel here in New England. Smart, fast, and nasty. And I think you see this team play that style of football, which for New Englanders, we love to see that.
Matt, you talked about, things that you were taught when you were there. Let's go back to when you were there. In your rookie year, the Patriots surprised everyone and beat the greatest show on turf for your first Super Bowl. Do you see any similarities between that team and this one that we're about to watch on Sunday?
Well, I think some of the ones that stick out really easily are the fact that you have a second-year quarterback, and I can remember, number 12 being that second-year guy and getting the call, and then you got a rookie left tackle, which I can relate to, and I think too that the idea that there weren't a lot of expectations, right? That we were this no-name team that came out and didn't have the individual kind of acknowledgments with their name. We came out as a team, we played as a team, and I'll tell you what, we had a lot of fun. That's another similarity. I watched these guys, I watched the way they handle the media, and they talk about how much they enjoyed being in that locker room. That goes a long ways.
Man, Matt, you played with Braves early in their career in terms of like the early Dynasty years. We know who he is as a player. We know who he is as a coach. But how was he as a teammate?
Well, the Braves had this unbelievable knack for getting under your skin, right? If he was on your team, he was the Rodney Harrison. He was the guy that you loved because he was on your team. If he was not on your team, you were looking to knock him out, right? Because he just had a way of getting under your skin, and his hustle, man, he just was relentless. He was also the guy that after the toughest practice would be in there running 5 more miles on a treadmill showing off. I don't know how he did it. Endless amounts of energy, but what a great teammate.
But you know what, Matt, I got to tell you, I know why you clicked with him. You have incredible energy right now. God bless you. This is a great thing that you could come on and have this kind of juice. We had a guest last week. I'm not going to mention who he is. I think he's still sleeping. Not everybody shows up like you. You are awesome, and I love that you have that. Use that energy. Answer this, Matt, because we're now, we're 6 days away from the game. And it just seems like everyone's like, yeah, Seahawks, they're better. They look better. They passed the eye test. Like, the overwhelming amount of picks for this game are Seattle. Why is that, and why might they be wrong?
Well, I mean, I think it's maybe a sexier pick, right? I mean, I think you look at what's happened here in the postseason, and there are people that have a lot of question marks, and, they're talking about Drake May and maybe an injury, and, they got an offensive line that isn't, doing great, and all these other things that come into it. But here's what I love about this team. When it gets tough, and the tougher it gets, the more they respond. And you see a dime throw by Drake May. You see, a receiver that comes open and makes an unbelievable play like Booty with a one-handed catch in the end zone. I mean, they rise to the occasion. It's almost like more pressure means better play. And this defense has been so consistent. And I love the way that they are playing right now. So I think people, at the end of the day, they're going to look at this and say, maybe I underestimated the strength of this New England team.
Yep.
Matt, the reason why that logo is so fascinating is because it's not the first time that they've been there this weekend. This is a storied franchise, specifically in the last 25 years. Matt, I'm supposed to ask you what you think about Bill Belichick not being voted into the Hall of Fame, but I'm going to make an educated guess as to what you would say about that. Instead, I'd like to ask you something more personal. What do you think Coach thinks about this report that's being said about him, the fact that he wasn't voted in? And have you reached out to him? Do you stay in touch?
You know what? I haven't reached out to him. I think in moments like this where, there's so many emotions and there's so much history and there's so much that he, put into the game of football that, I'm sure that he just shakes his head and he says, okay, all right, whatever. I mean, eventually he's going to be there. To be honest with you, I got a guy that I played with in college, Mr. Drew Brees, who's a finalist, and all the people that are going to be recognized, for this unbelievable honor. Those are the people we should be talking about. And I know that, things like this are going to grab headlines, but the reality is, you look at the Hall of Fame and the impact that it sends, right? And what we're saying is these are the individuals who have had the biggest impact on the game of football individually, right? And it's so cool to recognize those folks. And I want to spend time talking about the Drew Breeses and all the rest of these amazing finalists for the body of work that they put forth during their unbelievable careers.
I remember the lifeguard lineman at Purdue, dude. Like, I remember that big time, and you guys were really, really special. I remember the photo shoot. I remember all of that. Let's go back. Talk to me about West Lafayette in the late 90s and playing with Drew Brees, and when did you know he was different?
Man, I'll tell you, I love that question because he's one of the people, he's such a rare talent. I mean, look, you can be the worst left tackle in the history of football if your only two quarterbacks from high school are Drew Brees and Tom Brady, right? I mean, come on, let's face it. It's not that hard, right? But Drew, I think people talk about it a lot. He was the guy that was literally dropping footballs into barrels that were 30, 40, 50 yards downfield. His accuracy is legendary, but really as a person, what he brings to the game is this ability to treat everybody with respect, approach the game with humility and go out there and ball out. I mean, the guy was unbelievably a gamer, right? I mean, he just rose to every occasion. So I'm so excited for him and his family in this soon-to-be honor. And love that guy. But listen, that picture, what I want to say is the tagline I came up with was a little protection goes a long way.
I remember it, man.
Matt, okay, so I got to echo everything you said about Drew. I played with him for 3 years. He's one of my really good friends. Hall of Famer on the field, a Hall of Famer off of it for a lot of the work that he did with his charity. You do a lot of great work through your charity, the Light Foundation. Tell us about the Stairway to Seven sweepstakes you're doing.
Man, it's exciting. So, everybody wants to go to this game, and it costs quite a bit to get in the stadium, but we put a package together where we're going to send a lucky winner to San Francisco, all expense paid trip, hotel, airfare, everything you could want. 2 tickets to the game, Guy Fieri's tailgate party before the game. We got the Patriots post party. I mean, this package is so cool. And the best part is, for as little as $10, you can win this trip. So all the money supports the Life Foundation. We serve about 7,500 kids annually through the Life Foundation Leadership Academy. We love it. We appreciate all the support. But go out to stairwayto7.org and get a chance. And I'll be calling the winner on Thursday and sending you to San Francisco.
God, that sounds fantastic. It sounds like a recording into my phone. Your voice, Matt, it's so electric and excited. I'm sure you're so proud of the work you've done. Last topic on the Patriots. I want to ask you this. We have a video of after a Patriots win in January, your friend and the current head coach, Mike Vrabel, and just walk me through how he wants to uplift the rookie offensive lineman drafted with the little cheek smack here to get him upright, Will Campbell. What do you think about that?
Yep.
Man, it's classic Braves. So classic Braves. Look, it's personal, right? And here's what I love. We live in an era where traditions aren't as traditional anymore, right? Where we don't connect like we used to in many ways. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I retired a little bit early and I was missing the connection. And here's a coach who puts that connection first, right? He wants to have a direct line to him and his players because it matters and it should matter. And look at the way these guys play. They play like it matters. I can tell you this much. It's important to Will Campbell that he gets better each and every week. And as a matter of fact, people asked me before the season, what do you expect from this team? And the one thing I said was, I want to see them get better from one week to the next. That's important to me. I know it's important to Coach Vrabel. You see it in his interactions, and he has a way of dealing with offensive linemen. Didn't used to be real friendly back in the day. Looks a lot better now, and I'm sure, that goes a long way for a guy like Will Campbell.
Matt, I'm not the hiring manager here, but you should do more television. I know the West Coast is a little early, but there's a spot next to Kyle in New York that you can go hang out anytime on GMFB, all right?
Yeah, face for radio. Thanks for trying to help me out. I'm feeling good about this.
But a zest for Good Morning Football. Matt Light, everybody. One more time, the website people have to go to, Matt.
Stairway to7.org. I'll call you Thursday.
Oh, enter the sweepstakes, everybody. Patriots might have the ultimate sweepstake winner, though, after Sunday at Super Bowl 60.